Aloha. Yes, 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 Sleuth Mom. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is showtime. And aloha, gang. It is Aloha Friday. We all know exactly what that means. Yes, we get to hang out, but the weekend's here. Yes, yes, yes. So, everyone, hope you guys are having fun. Yes, the dogs are already sitting here. Wait, yeah, beyond just sitting here waiting. Let's see. Give them all one of these real quickly, see if that helps. And hope everyone has had an awesome day. Even more so, I hope everyone had an awesome week. And let me put someone in her stroller so she can enjoy herself in there. And so, first in chat today, we had Miss Brandy. And so, hello, Miss Brandy. I know she came in and will probably be back at some point if she's not already back, but I wanted to say hi. And then we had all sorts of people. Hey. Arctic Fox is here. Hey. Yeah, gang, it's funny because these lives started before the missing children lives, but I'm discovering the more I work with the missing children lives, and I know a lot of you here on that group also, the more we need to take care of ourselves, because the more I'm doing that, the more I'm realizing the stress, the bleed over on my emotions, empathy, things like that. I was watching a video. I'm trying to put together a whole video series about a number of kids who have been failed here in Hawaii. And I was watching some videos and I got too deep, put it that way. I actually thank you to the mod chat for Robbie's group because they reminded me, hey, girl, take care of yourself. And so I think it's important for all of us. Mental health hits us, whether it's something from our past, something current, something totally different issues, all that. It's important to take a look at. So I agree with you, Arctic, totally. And Sleuth Mom is here with the full countdown and all that. And how are you, my dear? And I've been thinking about you. And Siren's had a long, hard work week. And also, I'm happy you made it here. Who else? Darren. If I had thought, what if it's too close to coulda, shoulda, I agree with you there. And the more we can just share all this information, the better off, okay? Whether it comes now or later, whatever. And Karen is here. Hello, Karen. And same with Kelly. How are you, my dear? Been sitting here listening to everyone talking and all. So who else? Here she goes is here. Hey, here she goes. Sorry, everyone's sitting also here bugging me like crazy. Nothing like 3 dogs with 4 appendages each, all trying to scratch me for treats at the same time. So let's see. Here she goes. Karen, let's see who. Oh, Rosaline just popped in. Hey, Rosaline, love you, my dear. Love you. And also, yes, gang, and Louisiana girl, here she comes. No problem. Yeah, you've had a rough day. Gang, there's been a lot of people who are having a rough, week, month. I mean, a lot of people needing help right now, whether that is just a friend to say, hey, I love you, I care about you, or listening if it's even deeper. It's just a lot of people been needing a lot of different things recently. And they're all spread out from health things to losing people that they care about, a lot of different things going on. So before we start, as I mentioned, I'm trying to plug in some missing people information before each live. Robbie's here. Hey, Robbie. How you doing, my dear? And so I wanted to share with you real quickly before we started all of this about a rally that is going to be going on for Kyron tomorrow. So some of you guys may know about Kyron Horman, who went missing. Let's see. Sorry, let me get all my info so I don't pass anything. Kyron actually has been gone for a little while. He went missing on June 4th of 2010 in Portland, Oregon. And just as a quick reminder, okay, he's such a cutie pie. And yes, again, wearing glasses, male. He's definitely, 2010. We're talking, it's been quite a few years. But there is going to be a rally going on tomorrow at 11 a.m., okay, in Portland, in front of the Portland DA's office. So please, those of you who are there, if you can drop by and be part of that rally. For those of you who aren't, could you please share Kyron's poster? Okay, let's keep Kyron in the eyes of the public. And also, and I know a couple people are doing stories on Kyron recently. I myself need to do one. But please, yeah, whatever we can do. He was last seen wearing a CSI t-shirt, black cargo pants, white socks, and well-worn black Skechers tennis shoes with an orange trim. So if you guys can help out with anything, if you've seen him, something just is popping up in your brain, because a lot of us didn't even know Kyron's name. So you may see this and something may pop back to a number of years ago. And you're like, oh, whoa, something, yeah, I do remember seeing that little boy. Okay, call 911, call the sheriff's office. Okay, they are really looking for whatever, like this says here, 12 years is too long. Okay, it's too long, and we need to find him. So now, like we were saying, it has been a hell of a week for many of us. A lot of us have been dealing with all sorts of stuff, and these are the times when you're not dealing with a specific issue. You're just talking about mental health in general. Okay, if you think about it. Okay, so many times, hey, Mama Jane. And a lot of times what we talk about here, okay, we've talked about the 4 agreements. We've talked about depression, anxiety, all these different things. But you know what? In the end, it's about our mental health. Okay, it's about, in general, how we get along from day to day, how we treat ourselves good, okay, how we make sure that we are the healthiest, not just physically, because gang, how many of us hear all the time, okay, when, for example, New Year's comes around and everyone starts talking their resolutions and everything, everyone's focused on their body. Okay, oh, I'm going to go to the gym. Oh, I'm going to start walking. Oh, I'm going to start doing this. Oh, I'm going to start doing that. Yet how many of us truly sit there and think about resolutions that we could be doing for our own mental health? Yes, your physical affects your mental health. That is for sure. But there's so much more to it. There's so many more things that we don't even think about that affect our mental health on a day-to-day basis. Rosaline, I am thinking about you. I'm sending you love. I mean, you know what? Love you, my dear. And you know what? Like she just said, there's nothing wrong. I myself have made a call to one of those in the past. I have. Okay, a lot of us have made those things, and that's putting yourself first and taking care of yourself. And all this time that people are always like, oh, you know what? How many times do we know someone who may, for example, okay, I've had this discussion recently. Okay, people who are on medications. And because of that mental health stigma, the moment they think they can go off those medicines because they're feeling normal is the moment all of a sudden they are kind of this whole thing about how the people, it's like, well, people are going to look down on me because I take meds, or they're going to look down on me because I made a phone call or something like that. And that's not it. And what happens is the moment they stop their meds and all because of that peer pressure, because of that stigma, is the moment things start becoming problematic again. Okay, I've had friends in my past that I used to actually, okay, back when we were in school, I'd be talking with them and they'd be having a rough day. I could tell. You can see, especially when you're empathic, you can really get that feeling from someone when something's just not right. And I used to joke with her all the time. I'd say, did you take your meds this morning? And 9 times out of 10 on those days, they would pop back saying, no, I didn't. And sometimes it was just forgotten. Hell, how many of us have forgotten our meds? But sometimes it's just because, you know what, we feel less about ourselves because of that. And that's not right. That's not right. Would someone who is diabetic, if you were type 1 diabetic, and from the time you were a child, you were on insulin, would you all of a sudden say to yourself, oh, my blood sugar's been fine lately, I'm going to stop taking insulin? So why do we do it to ourselves this way? Hey, Frank, how you doing? And so just a little soapbox thing I wanted to make a copy of and make a comment about right now. Hey, Anthony. Hey. Welcome, my dear. So one of the things this week, like I said, a lot of us have had issues going on. There's a number of people who have either lost friends and family this week, a lot of people dealing with their own demons this week. One of you guys know that I was scared actually that my pulmonary embolisms were back, or I was developing pulmonary hypertension. So a lot of us have been dealing with a lot of shit and stress this week. And when I sat back and thought about what it is I needed this week, I realized what got me through this week were all those little comments people have shared with me over the years that have helped me treat myself better. Okay, be more realistic about who I am and what matters in my own life. So that's why I decided to come together and let's talk about those. Let's talk about some of those things that we may or may never have thought about until a friend says something to us and we're like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Why wasn't I addressing that before? Why didn't I see the world through this color of glasses or whatever it is you want to put the words to? Okay, and Arctic, that is true. Many people will stop their meds. Okay, it's not just, they stop their meds because the public, stigma. Some of them do because they don't like what they're less creative. I've had many friends in that level, especially being in theater. Okay, once they are on meds, they just find it a harder thing to deal with. And they have to find these balances between themselves and what is best for them. And that's what's important because in the end, what I come down to is this, gang. We need to be making our decisions based off of what is best for us, not what other people are telling us is best for us. They don't know us. We know us. So that's the one thing will always come back to is listen to yourself, listen to your body. Okay, talk with your doctor. Your doctor knows you best. You know yourself even better than that. Okay, don't let someone who, number one, doesn't have the education behind them to understand things. Okay, because there's a lot of ins and outs to all this stuff. Okay, that's why I say on my thing here, I'm not a freaking therapist. Okay, I'm just someone who's been through stuff in my life, and I want to come together with other people to work with other people on stuff. Okay, but at the same point, other people who come to me, they don't know what it is I'm going through. Okay, my therapist does because I talk with my therapist. Okay, my doctor knows because I talk to my doctor. But in the end, I'm the one who knows how things, I tell people, be their own advocate when you go to the doctor, things like that. It's important. Okay, because your doctor may not know this week. It's why I finally stepped up and made some comments to my doctor because I knew something was off in me. Okay, and we're still trying to figure things out. But you know what? We work together as a partnership on that. But I have to be my advocate. That's what I'd say to all you guys. Be your own advocate. Okay, so, and that kind of goes into number one. Everyone has advice. When it comes to mental health, everyone has advice. It's like when you're pregnant and you got every person in the world coming out of the woodwork telling you what works, what doesn't work. Okay, I had a child and I did this, or I took this, herbal, or I did this, or if you're carrying this way, it's going to be a girl. If you're doing this, it's a boy, or whatever. Everyone loves to give their advice. And it's the same with mental health. Everyone loves to do it. And guess what? That advice is great for them. But it's not always great for all of us. But one of the things I've learned through life is I listen to everything everyone says. Because I might find a glimmer of truth in what someone comes to me with. Okay. This is one of the things. Okay. We were talking the other day, okay, about how sometimes people, you're in a discussion with someone and you think you're coming across this way. We were talking about this with communication and things like that. You think you're coming across this way, but your friend comes back to you and says, local, you really did not sound that way. You really sounded like you were trying to start a fight, or you really were way, way off, like you were trying to tell them what to do, okay, when you thought you were coming across with just ideas or whatever it be. It's important to listen to everything people are saying and be open and honest with yourself. Okay, what works, what doesn't with yourself? What is it other people are seeing, and how you can change your own day-to-day actions to kind of find that middle ground. And but when we're dealing with something like what we're going to talk about today, which is what are those things I wish I knew, okay, at the time, well, some of the advice you may never have heard if you were closed to advice. Because a lot of people will get that way. They close their mind off to advice because they don't want to recognize that someone may be telling them something that's hidden below the surface of the comment. Okay, if say someone is saying, well, you know what? It's okay for nice people to have boundaries. Okay, you might start taking it personally, so you don't listen to that because you don't want to. There's a defensiveness that sometimes comes, at least with me. A lot of times I'll close off my mind to what's being said because I don't want to hear something that may be subtext, if that makes any sense to anyone. And so what you do instead is just listen to everything, because guess what? You may find something out that you are going to, almost exactly what Louisiana said, girl just said, okay, you may hear something that is important. I know she said it for a different reason, but in the comments that are being shared to you, you may find something that is so important to your ability moving forward. And it might be that little bit of information that helps you grab on and stay calm in a rough situation, or stay grounded, or to see yourself in a better frame of mind. And you would not have seen it before. So I think number one for all of us to realize when we're talking about these things is, yes, everyone is going to have advice. It's up to you what you do with the advice. Are you going to listen to it? Are you going to listen and kind of figure it out? Okay, how much good is behind this? Or are you just going to ignore it and let it go? And so let's start going through some of the different things that over the years that I've either heard, or when I was doing research for this, I came across and I was like, ooh, that's a good thought. That's a good thought. And I'd love any ideas you guys have as we go through this. Please, gang. You guys are awesome in chat right now. In fact, I'm having fun reading chat at the same time, so I'm loving this. And number one I wanted to mention is, okay, we deserve vacations, right? Okay. According to school, according to work, we get 2 weeks off a month, 3 weeks, a month. Oh my God, I wish. A year. Okay, maybe we get 4 if you're very, very lucky, things like that. But you know what? There are other ways of having vacations. And we all deserve that. See, the problem a lot of times for many of us is we get so overwhelmed with everything going on in life. I'm right now, I got a show going on. I'm working with YouTube. I have family and friend things I'm working on. My best friend's getting married in less than a month, and I'm her maid of honor. We have all these things going on in our head. And what do we say to ourselves? We say, well, once this is all done, I'll take a break. The problem is, over that time, you are getting more and more stressed. You are getting more and more tense. Your body is reacting, because we know stress affects the way our body reacts. Okay, if you've got high blood pressure, you're dealing with that. If you've got all sorts of other different things, there's an interaction going on there. So I think it's important for us all to remember, you know what? There's nothing wrong with taking some time for you every day. You deserve that time for yourself. Just as much. Okay, let me ask this in chat. If you are having a really, you're just going from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, okay? Busy bee. And your best friend comes to you and is just stressed out and needing a shoulder to cry on and stuff like that, and just about at their end, okay, at wit's end. Are you going to tell your best friend then, oh, I'm sorry, I've got this, and this going on. Can you come back and talk to me in 2 weeks or next week or something like that? Okay. Would you guys do that? Put a 1 in chat if you would do that. Put a 2 in chat if you would instead just say, oh, okay, and you put your stuff away and you'd spend time with them. It may not be long. It may only be 15, 20. Mama Jane, no, never. None of us would ever do something like that. We may only spend 5 minutes with them, but you would do anything in the world at that moment to be there for your friend. Now, why can we not give ourselves 5 minutes? Why can we not take that time that we would give our friend and also give it to ourselves? Okay, it doesn't have to be a Hawaii vacation or something like that. When I say you deserve a vacation each day, I'm not talking that level. I'm talking about just some time for you. Hell, even if you're a mom and you got kids, or a dad and you got kids running around like crazy, driving you crazy, lock yourself in the frickin' bathroom for a few minutes. Take some time for yourself. You deserve that. Just as much as your friend would deserve your support. Okay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You find something that you can do for that amount of time. Okay, putting on a pair of earbuds and listening to some music and closing your eyes for a few minutes. Going for a quick walk. Okay, your walk up to get the mail or something like that. I know everyone's in a different situation. Some of you can't leave your children because of age. Okay, some of you can't go for a walk right now because it's freaking freezing outside, but find something you can do for yourself. And Louisiana girl, it's funny because that all of a sudden just popped into my head. I was like, why the hell am I okay giving up more and more time for my friends who need and deserve, and I want to be there for them, but I'm not willing to do it for myself? It dawned on me the other day, and I was just like, it didn't make sense. And I do it all the time. Mama Jane, your me time is early morning while everyone is still, and you know what? That's perfect. When I used to work in facilities, because as the administrator or whatever, you never have dead time. I mean, someone's walking into your door, and I had always an open door policy, always. And there was never a free moment, never. I had 2 rules for myself. During lunch, I always got in my car and I drove off campus for lunch. I had a 30-minute break, okay, and when things were really rough, I would always do that. Other times I enjoy it. It depended on the facility. Some I actually stayed in the facility for, but most times I tried to get out just for some me time. The other thing I used to do, and this is going to sound stupid and ridiculous, but the bathroom bit. I would run into the bathroom for 5 to 10 minutes, and I didn't need to go to the bathroom, but I just went in there because no one was going to follow me into that door of that stall, hopefully. Okay. There were times I wondered some about the residents may have, but no. You got to take that for yourself. Hey, Aussie True Crime Girl, how you doing, my dear? And so next, your healing. Many of us are here healing from one thing or another, okay, dealing with different portions of who we are and issues from the past or whatever. Your healing should not be dependent on hearing an apology. Okay, I have known so many people in my life who felt like they could not go any further because they needed to hear that apology. Okay, they needed that person who hurt them to come back and say, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I realize that I hurt you. Okay. It goes back to what I talk about apologies to begin with. If someone comes to me asking for forgiveness, I'm going to give it to them. Because you know what? That forgiveness, they're asking for their own sake, their own ability to deal with whatever it is that they did that led to that position. And who am I to withhold that forgiveness? Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. And that's the problem. Okay, so in the same frame here, a lot of times we hold ourselves back from truly healing because we need to hear that apology. Is it harder to heal when you don't have the apology? Probably. At least I'm going to say for me, yes. Okay, for many of us, we will never meet the person who hurt us. So you almost had to do this. This was not a major issue for me. And it was mainly because in my case, I know I'm never going to have that face-to-face where that person would ever be able to apologize to me. So I had to come to terms with stuff myself. So I think it's important because if you wait for that, all you're doing is waiting for the day to come that you can actually start moving forward, that you can start actually healing from the hurt. And because the apology to you, does it truly make a difference? If that person comes to you and says, I'm sorry for whatever I did to you, is it really going to make a difference in the end? It happened. It happened. Whatever happened at that time of your life happened at that time of your life. Okay, you've got to get to the point where you're like, you know what? I need to move on with my life. I may never hear that I'm sorry, but that's fine. Because I did nothing wrong. Okay, whether that person cares or not, that's up to them. All I know is I'm worth healing. I'm worth all that. And also definitely love yourself to that point that you can. You don't have to have that apology. Next, and this is one of my biggies, you guys know this. Next, people can't have boundaries. I have no idea how long back in my 20s I felt like having a boundary affected my being nice. Okay, because boundaries seem to have this negative connotation. Maybe it's a difference between back in the 90s and 2000s versus the 2020s now. But when I was younger, having a boundary had this almost negative connotation in my head until I could start accepting the fact that a boundary is actually your way of being nice to yourself. And you know what? It's also being nice to the person that you've set the boundary up with. It's like a child. As a mom or a dad, you're setting boundaries up for that child, right? You're letting them know what's dangerous, what's not dangerous, what they can do, what they can't do. Are you doing that out of hate? No. No problem, Sleuth Mom. Love you, my dear. Love you, love you. And you're not doing those things out of hate or anything like that. You're doing it out of love. You're doing it out of being able to further a relationship with someone. So being nice is part of that. Okay, if you're truly trying to further your relationship and come closer with a person and not all of a sudden always be scared about taking that next step, you're actually being able to be more of the person who you are, which is nice. And so something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. Next, your best is not going to look the same every single day. Okay? How many of you guys in chat have gotten mad at yourself because you acted one way this day and now this day you could not act that way? Okay, maybe your temper was a little quicker. Okay, maybe on Monday you were able to deal with anything that came your way. I mean, kids were, if they come at you and you'd be able to just kind of pass that. The boss, you had the perfect response to the boss each time they came by you that day, all that. Tuesday came and everything fell apart. The kids were all over you and you were snapping back at them, maybe. Your boss was all down your back, okay, up and down, and you're just like ready to blow up in their face. Yeah? But so many times we would look at ourselves on that Tuesday and look at it as a failure of ourselves. I failed as a mother because I snapped at my children. Okay, or I did that. Well, you know what? Your best is going to be different from day to day based off of who you are that day, what you're going through that day. Okay, yesterday was a majorly stressful day for myself. On top of it, not only was I just dealing with one thing after another, but in the end, I screwed up the schedule for our show ridiculously. I mean, I had 2 people who had told me they wouldn't be there, and I thought they were going to be there and shit like that. And I felt like a fucking failure. But then I sat back and I looked at everything, and because I was really all over myself about it. And it just dawned on me all of a sudden, but look at everything that was going on at the time. You had the tests going on. You were trying to get from one place to another. You're trying to balance all these other things going on. Okay. Hell, it can go as far as for women, okay, and men. Maybe you were hormonal on one level or another that day. Our best is going to be different each day. And it's okay for Monday not to look like Tuesday. Okay, because as long as you are doing your best to try to get through whatever is happening, that's all that matters. Okay, as long as you know it's been a rough day and you know it's been a rough day, I tried to take care of myself. I took time out for myself. I did those things. That's what matters. It's not how perfect the day was. It's how you reacted to the day. Also, remember you are a work in progress. Okay, we are all works in progress. Every single one of us have good days and we have our bad days. And you know what? It's still okay to love yourself if you're not perfect again. It is okay if you fail to love yourself. Okay, we are moving. Who I am today is not who I was a week ago. And it's definitely not going to be the person I am a week from now. But does that mean I'm less lovable, less caring, less of the person who I am? No. Okay, I am a work in progress. You are a work in progress. And that progress is meant to be celebrated. It is totally, utterly fine to celebrate and love that progress in yourself. Okay, because I got news for you. Once we're all perfect, it's going to be a boring life after that. Okay, love that work that you're putting into yourself. The next thing I was going to mention, this one goes back to healing, gang. So another slight little trigger warning with this one. You cannot heal if you're not open to feeling what you need to feel. When I started dealing with all my crap, I did not want to feel any of it, right? You think you can heal from shit without feeling the emotions that go along with that. That's not possible. Or at least I'm going to say for me, it was not possible. Okay. I had to finally get to a point in my life where I was okay feeling the emotions. Now, knowing I had to feel things, I had to be open to it, and I had to prepare for it. And that's what I realized was the difference. When you think you can go to therapy and just say, oh, this happened. Okay, now I'm better. No. But when you know you're going to be going, this happened, this is how I felt about it then, this is how I feel about it now, and have systems in place. This is the important part, gang. Have those systems in place. And we've talked about some of the grounding systems and ways to just kind of bring yourself back. Okay. It's important to be open to feeling. Okay. So many times I find when I've gotten stuck is when I was not open to feeling, if that makes sense. Darren, many don't understand the concept behind loving yourself. The concept really is be loving to. Amen. Exactly. Right there. Okay. Loving yourself. You've got to be loving to yourself the same way you would with other people. And if a friend came to you, again, with even this statement, if a friend came to you and was talking about how they were dealing with something rough, you're going to expect that they're going to be dealing with the emotions from that, yeah? You don't expect they're going to come to you and not have any emotion connected to it. Because if they're just spilling out the words one after another, all it is a story at that point. Stories can happen to anyone. Stories don't happen to us. The time that you start to heal, the time that you start moving forward is the time you start realizing this is what happened. This is how it affected me. This is how it affects me now. And this is how I'm going to deal with it moving forward. Because those emotions, those feelings can't hurt me. Because that was the hardest thing for me connected to this one, is I was scared of the emotions themselves. I was scared of the anger. I was scared of the fear or things like that. The anger nothing from the past can hurt you now. Okay? You just have to have systems in place to deal with the emotions as they pop up. But you have to be open to that. Now, I am going to say this here though, gang. This is not, many of these, this one specifically is not something I would suggest you do on your own or even with just your friends. There is nothing wrong with making a phone call to one of the phone numbers that everyone has been so amazing, Rosalie and all that have been so amazing at sharing. Okay, making a phone call to one of those phone numbers to help you through this exact area, calling up a therapist, because again, YouTube's awesome. We can sit here and talk till forever. We can work on things back and forth and help each other. But your therapist is who's really going to be able to help you out with a lot of these things. So next, this ties in with earlier. You don't earn rest. Okay? It goes back to that whole idea that you're so stressed out all week and you're like, well, once I finish this whole project or whatever it is you're doing, then I'll take a break. Okay? Or then take the vacation or something like that. No. Rest is not something you need to earn. You deserve rest. You deserve rest. Yes, you have to schedule rest sometimes, but you deserve that rest. You do not have to tell yourself, okay, well, I will take a break once I've done this, and this. If your body is screaming that you need a break, you need a break. Because if you're not listening to your body's going to yell back and answer you. I've learned that the hard way. If my body does not, if I'm telling my body, nope, I can deal with this, and this, and my body's going to get back at me one way or another. Okay, I'm going to end up with a headache. I'm going to end up totally exhausted. My body's going to get even with me one way or another. Your body deserves that rest. It's not earned. It's deserved. The same way your child, when you realize your child needs that break, you're going to try to give them that break. You deserve that too. Next is our self-image. Okay, your self-image is not going to be accurate when you're in a low state of mind. Okay, go back to what I was talking about yesterday for me personally. You guys, I know all of you have your own stories that match many of the things we're talking about. Yesterday, my state of mind sucked royally. Okay, truly sucked. At that time, if I had taken that feeling of myself and said, this is who Loco is at that moment, that would not have been accurate to who I truly am. So we so often get settled in this position of deciding who we are when we're at our lowest. No, that's not who we are. Okay, we are who we are when we're at our lowest. We're also who we are when we're at our highest. Again, you can't judge who you are based off of one moment in time. It's over a whole time period. So when so often you get down on yourself because of the fact that you're already at a down place. And like I was doing to myself yesterday, I was such a freaking failure that I couldn't get this. Hey guys, come here. Okay, that I couldn't get any of this stuff done correctly. I couldn't even make a freaking schedule that the whole cast could make it to. Okay, it didn't matter that, 60% of the cast were not even available or anything like that. No, it all had to be tied to who I was in my mind yesterday. No, that's not how things work. You need to be good to yourself and recognize who you are also on all those other amazing days, because that's more of the idea of who you are. You're a little bit of all these things. Again, we are a work in progress. Okay, so how can you be yourself in just one moment in time, and that's who you are? We're a little of everything. And last, and this goes for everyone, your past does not determine your future. Okay, gang? From day to day, life changes. Okay, yesterday was shitty for me for rehearsal. Today's going to be awesome. Okay, the show, we've had a rough time rehearsing and everything. That does not mean the show's going to be horrible. In fact, I look at the cast when they're doing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be an amazing show. And our past does not determine your future. If when you were younger, you were dealing with all sorts of shit or people would treat you a certain way or whatever, that does not determine how you should be treated in the future. If you have a relationship with a boyfriend or girlfriend and it falls apart, does not mean that's how it's always going to be. Again, we are works in process. We are becoming someone. And from day to day, that person changes. We have goals. Hopefully each of us do have a goal. And, but that goal is even going to change. Okay, a couple months ago, it might be me asking Miss Amber, living like Phoenix, let me know when I'm letting people run over me. To now it might be, let me know if I'm starting to cross the line too much on the other side. Okay, we're always changing. So your past is not going to determine your future. The only thing that determines your future is you. It's your attitude towards things. It's your ability to say, you know what? Today's worthwhile. Okay, your ability to sit there and say, hey, look at what I just did. I never thought I had that ability in me to pull something like that off. And learn from that. Or it might even be seeing something that you did and maybe you did fail at. And being able to step back and say, yeah, that was shitty. That was shitty. That was not the best way for me to act towards myself, towards my friend, towards whatever it be. But I can change that because tomorrow is a new day. And that's what's important for us, to continue remembering tomorrow is a new day for us. So, not sure about you guys. How many of you guys have other things, okay, that you have heard and you're like, damn, that's advice that I wish I had thought about before. I know one of my biggies personally, not on this list, was the 4 agreements. I'm looking here at chat right now and Rosalind popping in the 4 agreements. When I read that book, honestly, I wish I had seen that thing years before because it truly made a difference for me. And are there any things that have made that difference for you in your life? Okay, a certain thought process, things like that. These are the things that are hard for us to accept. And going along with that, let me ask you guys this. I did this a couple weeks ago. Now that we're coming to the end of this live, what's one thing from here that you think you could take and move forward with tomorrow? Keep in the back of my mind that you're going to go and write in your phone, this is something for me to look at tomorrow. This is a new way of me thinking tomorrow. What's your takeaway from this? I know I have this wonderful time delay here, so I've got to talk my way through a time delay, but what are you? I know for me, okay, I'm going through them all right now again. Let's see, you deserve a vacation day. That was a biggie for me. Healing, not dependent on hearing it. This one, the nice people can have boundaries, is still something I'm really having to work on. I'm getting better at, but that's one of my big takeaways, that it is okay to have those boundaries. This is probably where my number one takeaway from myself is. Okay, my best is not going to look the same each day, and it's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to be perfect from day to day. As much as I want to say I'm going to be perfect, gang, it's not going to happen. As much as I try, it's not going to happen. And so I think that's just something keep in the back of your mind. These are things, everyone that I've seen here is going through rough times. A lot of you are going through really, really rough times. Okay, we've got people in this group right now that are sick. We've got people who have lost a loved one this week. All of those things affect our emotion on a day-to-day basis. And just for those of you in chat and watching this video, if you're going through those things, we're all sending each other love and hugs and support, because you are going to get through those things. Your best is going to look different each day. If all you can do tomorrow is wake up and brush your teeth, that's still one thing that's amazing that you got done. Be proud of what you're able to get done. Know that depending on who you are that day and what you're dealing with that day, you have done your best. So, Darren, exactly. Po Buddy's nerfect. Po Buddy's nerfect. So talking about rehearsal, I have got to head on out to rehearsal. I've got to be there in just a little over an hour, and I got to fight traffic. And also I'm going to be going there. However, I am going to let everyone know a lot of you have joined it, but I do have the new Facebook group going on just so we can talk during the week. Have fun if we need to have fun. If people need the support, okay, with so much going on, they can come in there and make a couple comments and just be with friends. It is a private group. Yes, okay, there are the rules that people have to answer to get into it, but just a place for us to be able to come together. I know not everyone loves Discord. I don't blame them at times, trust me. And also, yep, Rosalind, it came to pass. There you go. I love that. And so please definitely come check us out on that. And if you have any subjects in the future that you'd like to talk about, I have been, because I do know a lot of people have lost people recently. I was thinking about doing a subject on grief and bereavement, because it seems like something a lot of people are having to deal with lately. And grief and bereavement is honestly not only losing people. It's losing who we were at a certain point of our life. It's losing a job. It's losing a relationship. Okay, all those things are. So I've been thinking about doing that. There's a couple of things I've been thinking about, but I would love any ideas you guys have. So yeah, I love all of you guys. I hope you guys have a great evening. It's Friday. It's Aloha Friday. No work. Well, not for all of you. I can't sing that if some of you got to go to work tomorrow. So, and yep, Darren, I love the thing. This too shall pass. It may pass like a kidney stone, though it will pass. Yes, it will. And I love you guys. And it's losing what you thought it would be. Exactly. So, all of you guys, I will see you guys Monday for Missing Mondays. There's a lot going on, a lot of different stories going on out there right now that need to be told. So I will see you then. Please check out the other channels that we've talked about that really help out with, whether it be things from Rosalie and her gratitude and being thankful to, okay, we've got Arctic Fox and Sleuth Mom. And sorry, I know I'm going to forget people that have the Missing People, okay, channels. Please check all those things out. And I will see y'all later. I hope you guys have an awesome Friday night. And I will talk to you later. Aloha and goodbye.